Potomac runs through the capital of the United States. The United States is the single most important country in the world on this issue. Despite our inadequate leadership, if we don't move, nobody else is ultimately going to move sufficiently. We have to move.
Spectacular. These rapids right up to the river are great. And you live in DC, it's free, it's super fun, it's pretty safe, it's great.
Such a great outdoor place for anybody who lives in Washington. It's total detachment from the city, and it's totally wild. It's absolutely beautiful all year long.
The future is at stake with climate change. The river that exists now will not be the river we know in a few decades.
The Potomac River is the East Coast's fourth largest river. It's a treasure to DC area residents and home to an abundant variety of wildlife. Sadly, like many American coastal rivers, fluctuating precipitation patterns brought on by climate change threaten this thriving ecosystem and source of serenity.
Anytime you have an estuarine system, you're going to have salt water meeting fresh water and form like a wedge, because the salt water is more dense than fresh, and so it forms this kind of this wedge system where you have a transition from purely fresh water into purely salt water, and then there's some mixing. What's going to happen is if sea level rises, the wedge is going to move inland. What that will change is the distribution of the marshes around the estuary. So you're going to get probably salt marshes moving inwards. Freshwater plants hate salt water, so they're going to have to move or die. They will die. You're going to get a shift in fish species. So a lot of freshwater fish can't really handle salt water, so they're going to move away. You see increase in flooding, increase in stream flow, associated precipitation. Also, really long term, you're going to see sea level change, of course, from melting ice.
You know, if in the past it was kind of like this was the range right here that we used to work within. You know, every within a 100-year span, we were likely to get a drought of this proportion. Every 100 years, that now those extremes are much further apart. As temperatures rise, you get more evaporation, and that can lower water levels, and so you have less water to dilute those contaminants that you're getting washed off from the combined sewer overflows and from the storm water. And so that all of those work together to kind of raise the stress on the river. The atmosphere can hold more moisture, and so then you get longer time in between rainstorms, and when they do come, then there's a lot more energy and a lot more power, and so they tend to drop more rain at one time, which can create floods and cause some water quality issues.
There's this slow-moving missile, which are the ice sheets aimed at U.S. coastal cities, the inundation of coastal cities. So we have to think about this as a threat to our way of life and mobilize ourselves to do it.
We really operate on the planet as if we're the most important thing, and everything else can go to hell. And we also, unfortunately, think short term because we're human, and nature doesn't think short term. So, in a way, we're like our own worst enemies.
We have a lot of people in the political system who have adopted the attitude, this isn't me. I mean, it's incredible. It's like kind of saying gravity isn't real. We don't know what the forests are going to look like. Will they dry out? Will they burn down? Who knows? What species will move in? How this is all, the speed of this transition is faster than anything we know.
Can't stop it. It's going to be a collective decision as basically the globe has to decide together that we're going to really do something about it.
Zwei, drei.
Denk an deine Zukunft.
Rette den
Potomac.
Fluss.
Ach ja, genau.
Yeah!